Oh, hey, what's up? Right, I was supposed to get this review to you guys like 3 weeks ago. My bad. Basically, I'm thinking of doing 3 different reviews here. I'm gonna do a review on the 887, the 789, and then I'm gonna do a comparison video. But the 3 videos I'm also gonna kind of do different ways. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys, the viewers, to decide. So without further ado, let's start the Monolith by Monoprice THX AAA balanced headphone amplifier featuring THX AAA 887 technology review. Holy God, that's a long name. Okay, let's start with build quality. The unit actually looks pretty decent. However, it's not really well thought out in terms of design flow. You'll notice, for instance, that the unit itself is this kind of looks like brushed aluminum. It's anodized aluminum, but it kind of looks like it's brushed aluminum. And you'll notice that the top and the faceplate are the exact same metal. However, the way that it was done, when you're staring at it from bird's eye view, it looks like it's 2 different materials, and it looks a bit off. The other thing you'll notice is that the gain switch is actually this knurled metal knob, whereas the volume pot is this big plastic knob that's smooth all around, and it just doesn't seem to flow well together. Doesn't really look aesthetically pleasing is what I'm getting at here. The power and the input buttons, those also feel really squishy. It feels like something's going to break inside. I doubt it will, but just when you're pressing it, something about it just doesn't feel quite right. I know it's all minor complaints here, but those are just some things I noticed on it. Otherwise, it's very solidly built. There's nothing really wrong with it. They're just little minor nitpick things that I have about it. Let's talk about the inputs. So on the back, you have a single-ended RCA input and a balanced XLR input. You'll notice that there's also a single-ended RCA pass-through. However, I don't have any speakers on my desk to really test that with, but from what I've heard, it's always outputting a single-ended signal as long as you're feeding it a single-ended signal. So I don't think the balanced XLR output ever actually outputs through the single-ended output pass-through. That wouldn't make sense if it did, so I'm just going to say it doesn't do that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I am. Again, I don't have speakers to test that with, so I can't really answer one way or the other. I prefer headphones over speakers, so I'll just never use that feature. That's just not for me. Since we're talking about all the inputs on the back, we might as well briefly go over that little switch on the back, because I have no idea what that does. It's supposed to be like this timed off switch that if there's nothing playing out from the unit, it should automatically turn off, but I have no idea if that actually works. I turned it on and I let that thing sit there for like an hour and nothing happened, so I don't know if that switch actually works or if that was just kind of put in there because it was supposed to work and mine's busted and doesn't work. I don't know about that switch. So we'll just kind of bypass that. Alright, so let's move on to the outputs. So as far as outputs are concerned, you have the balanced XLR output. Now that is questionable as to whether that's actually balanced. I think the way the THX AAA technology works, it's not a true balanced, but it has all the benefits of balanced. Now, if I look over on my screen here, Monoprice does actually say that it's balanced, so I don't know if this is a true balanced output. I guess when I'm doing my comparison between the two, I will actually look that up and figure that out. But for now, I'm going under the assumption it's not in true balanced, but it just has all the benefits of a balanced output. Moving on, you then have the 1/4-inch single-ended output and a 3.5mm single-ended output. Let's talk about the single-ended power output. At 600 ohms, it states that it's going to be outputting 100 milliwatts of power. Now, the JDS Labs EL amp, for instance, at 600 ohms, outputs 140 milliwatts. Basically what this translates to is on the EL amp, I only have to turn my amp up to about the 10 o'clock position, whereas on the 887, I have to turn it up to about the 1 o'clock position to power up headphones such as the T60RPs. So you'll have to take that into account with whatever you're using. Now, if you have a set of headphones that is balanced, then the XLR output is actually going to help you, because that is outputting 350 milliwatts at 600 ohms. So you will have no problems powering up any sort of headphone that is balanced. Now, something I did notice about the balanced output was that when the volume was turned all the way down with the gain all the way up, I was still getting sound out from it, which was kind of odd. I would figure it'd be completely dead silent. The 1/4-inch jack, high gain, no sound. It's just the XLR input. For some reason I'm getting sound out, so it's like the knob doesn't actually go all the way to 0. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're annoyed by that and you want to turn something down, and you'll still kind of hear the music, but it's very low. All that brings us to the sound. This thing is amazing. It does its job very well. And an amp's job is basically just to output the cleanest signal possible. It's supposed to take the incoming signal and amplify it so that it can properly power your headphones. It's not supposed to introduce any sort of color to the sound. It's not supposed to expand the sound stage. Nothing like that. It's just supposed to produce a clean, clear signal, and this does exactly that. Now, if you did want to color the sound or expand upon that sound stage, then you're going to want to focus on headphones or maybe switch over to something like a tube amp, preferably the Dark Voice. I love that amp. I use that all the time, especially with these things. Dark Voice, T60RP is my favorite combo right now. Can I tell the difference between the EL amp and the 887? No. At least my ears, the way they are now, can't tell the difference between the two amps. Granted, I've only been into high-end audio for about 3 or 4 years now, so maybe my ears aren't as great at critical listening as others are, but really I'm just giving you my honest opinion of the device itself, which is really good. But it's you, the viewer's job, to go out there and watch other reviews, read other reviews, and then just kind of figure out what the general consensus is. Figure out what everybody's saying about it, and hopefully you'll be more informed when you go to buy this product. Maybe you'll say, hey, you know what? I don't have any balanced headphones. Maybe I'll just go with that EL amp. Or, hey, if I ever plan on expanding in the future, growing my headphone collection, then you can't go wrong over here. The 887's great. So if you're looking for a headphone amplifier that can output a balanced signal and that is super clean, you're going to have a hard time finding something that can beat this, especially at $400. This is a solid buy. And that's all I got. And with that, I say good night. What the hell was that? I really got to figure out how to end these things. So in this case, I was doing a lot of A/B testing between the two. I had this little A/B switch device that I just dropped on the ground. Oh, sweet Jesus. Where'd that go? Holy God, where'd that go? I think I broke it. I think I broke it. All right, let's try that again.